All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you very much for joining me. My co-host here is Jen. She's the one with the blonde with the headphones on, and you've seen her at APT meetings, I'm sure. So thank you all for coming. Welcome. We're just going to have a little update on our social media presence. Here at APT. So I'm just going to go through a brief PowerPoint, and then I'd like it for it to be interactive. Essentially, out of all the people that are here, maybe if you can like raise your hand, who is actually on Facebook or Instagram at this moment? Nobody? All right, Martin. Okay, Marty. But the rest of you are
I'm sorry.
not
I'm sorry.
necessarily
I
on
may have
Facebook.
misunderstood. I think you meant who is using Facebook or Instagram for your tour business. No, I am not. I thought you meant just on like active. Okay, not for
Yeah,
my
if
tour
you're
business.
Anything.
yeah, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I would as well.
yeah, if you can just give me 1 second, Jim Murphy's trying to get in.
Yeah, we're making this very broad. This is not like a marketing towards tour businesses. It's more helping you understand the mechanics so that if you do wish to use it for your tour business. So it's a little bit of a more of a 101. So, but that when we go to the interactive part, if you have questions relating to that, we can field them. I know the training program coming up has one that's a little more towards marketing and social media. This is kind of a prep for people who maybe are not as comfortable or as familiar with social media in a broad sense to prepare them for that. That would be like the 201 if we're thinking like college courses.
Yeah, and basically there is a training coming up with a tour guide from Chicago that is going to go into much more detail about, what he does with his Instagram and his Facebook accounts. And so this is kind of a precursor so that if you do decide to take that course and want to learn more about, there's Jim. If you want to learn more about social media, that at the very least, you're familiar with our social media presence, and that you're at least engaged in either Facebook or Instagram before you get associated with this training course that's coming up on November 6th. So does that make sense? All right, so we're going to get started. Essentially, we've reinvigorated our social media. There's one issue though. Our years ago, we had a president, and not to get into the gory details because I really don't even know much about it. All I know is that the person's not speaking to us anymore. And unfortunately, he owned the password to our Facebook account. So there is a page out there called the Association of Philadelphia Tour Guides. That is not the page that we want you to join. The only way to get around this was to create a new page called Philly Guides Association. And so this new page is what we really would like you to follow moving forward. And just don't even interact with the other page. I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's a free country. But in terms of what we're talking about here and what we're going to call the official Philly Guides Association Facebook page, it is called Philly Guides Association, and that's what we're going with. Our website is phillyguides.org. Our email address is phillyguides@gmail.com. And now our Facebook page is called Philly Guides Association. Okay, so that's essentially what we've done. And, you know, we've actually started to look at, you know, where do we want to have a presence? And so if we had unlimited time and a full-time social media content creator, we would probably most honestly be on all these platforms. But still, you know, we have our website, we have our phillyguides@gmail.com that any emails you send to this email will go to our secretary, Pam Covey. And we have a Philly Guides Association Facebook page. We also have a Facebook group. And we have an Instagram at Philly Guides. We have a YouTube page, which is actually fairly active because most of our Zoom sessions that Jen actually does end up on our YouTube. And then we're dabbling in Blue Sky and Threads, but honestly, I haven't dabbled anything in there. But the main thing that I'd like to just to point out is at the very least to be on Facebook or on Instagram if it's all too much. In all honesty, I'm on Facebook and not so much on Instagram. You know, I kind of, you know, I doom scroll enough in Facebook that I don't need to go do that in Instagram as well, in all honesty. And you need to kind of decide for yourself how much you want to be on social media, whether it's as a voyeur or as an actual person just participating in the discussions and so forth. Now, I mentioned before that we have a Facebook page and we have a Facebook group. And so this is where, this is what I want you to be aware of in terms of the Facebook page. It is the official public presence of your business, and it's like a storefront. It's the official brand presence. We communicate directly from the board down to the association. It allows for Facebook advertising, and there's this ability to link it to Instagram. And so currently, that is exactly what we're doing. When we post on Facebook, we also post on Instagram at the same time. Now, the Facebook group is a little bit different, and that is where you can also be, you know, completely in on the discussion and lead the discussion. So it's an area for people to share ideas. For example, a couple months ago, I put out to the Facebook group, hey, where's the best place to park a bus if you want people to visit Love Park and City Hall and not be too far walking away? And so then some of the more veteran guides answer the question, like Jen, hey, you can park here, and, you know, don't park here, you might get a ticket, that type of thing. So it's a really good way to get some information when you want some advice on maybe some more veteran guides. And so it really depends on how rich the content is, because the whole group participates. And anyone can comment, but for right now, what we're doing is we're approving the messages before they're actually posted. So you can go to the Facebook group, create a post, and generally, Jen and I are pretty quick to approve most people's posts. But right now, we're also just trying to be careful that we're not posting something offensive, too politically slanted, you know, one way or the other. And you know, just make sure it's good, clean, PG-13 fun. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay.
Yep.
No questions? All right.
Sorry, Antoinette, I couldn't hear the last sentence you said. Just make sure it's what?
PG-13. You know,
Oh.
we don't want any, you know, lewd or, just offensive information in the Facebook group that gets on there. And that's why we're controlling it, to approve the
Of
post
course.
before it actually goes out.
And
That-
it's not so much that we think it's gonna be our members. Unfortunately, if you put anything out to the world, there's always a chance that somebody might take advantage. So we just kind of filter because we want it to be focused on something that would help the guides. So like the question about the parking, or I think I posted about upcoming road closures when there was like a huge the closed city ride on the same day of No Kings, things that are helpful. So not like, oh man, no venting, no raging. Could save that for the happy hour before the meetings.
There you go. I saw that Bill Rooney raised his hand.
Yeah, so I just went over to Facebook and found the group, but is the page the same, Philly Guides
No,
Association?
the name is the same, but the function is different.
So how do you get to the page?
So you would search, the name of the page and you would search for a page. So for example, let me see, let me actually give you the direct link because it's even in the Facebook. Like if you are in Facebook and you're going to post. So I'm going to put the link directly to the page into the chat. So
Okay.
this will take you directly to the page.
And what I'll also do is I'll show you my Facebook page
I think I
and
got
how
it.
you find it. So I'm going to stop share on the presentation. And then I'm
I
gonna
have mine up too, if that's helpful.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna, all right, so now this is my Facebook page. So when Jen said, you can search, at least on mine, I've got a search bar right up in the left-hand corner, in the upper left-hand corner. And so if I search for Philly Guides, I actually get the Philly Guides Association group, as well as the Philly Association Guide, Philly Guides Association. So one is the group page, and then one is the regular official Facebook page.
So the page should just come up in my regular feed, but I have to go looking for the group. too.
Yeah. So what
Yes.
you'd want to do,
I think I found them both now.
yeah. So what you want to do is when you can click on Philly Guides Association, and so right here it already says that I'm following, which means that it's going to start coming up in my feed. If I hit unfollow or following and I do that, I can see that this is, I can say right here unfollow. Let me just do that.
Right.
And now when you search for it, it should come up as follow, and I can hit follow, and now it says following.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing that.
The group is helpful if you think of it more like a forum, like back in the day forum, whereas the page is like a bulletin board. I find that tends to help because the forum is more of a communal, whereas the bulletin board, it's what's posted, and that's kind of more like only a select few people are able to post to that. Does that help?
No.
Okay.
And so even members, even people that are not members of APT, we had a person looking for a Portuguese tour guide. And it's just another way to get in contact with us. And frankly, very, very democratic in terms of then anyone can jump on that. It's just not the email looking for example, the Portuguese tour guide coming to our inbox. If you're part of this group, you'll see it right away. And if you speak Portuguese, you can jump right on it. All right, so Instagram. So this platform is like flipping through somebody's photo book with captions. It's mostly about sharing pictures and short videos. In fact, I am unable to post, for example, on our Instagram if I don't have a picture. And that's kind of where all the work comes in, being kind of this, ad hoc social media coordinator, is that I always need a picture, and I need a picture that's legal for me to use. So if you find some of the pictures kind of goofy, it's because I couldn't do any better with AI or the free stock photos that are available on the internet. But it's about less text and more visuals. It's more popular with the younger generation, and I mean millennials mostly. I would say Gen X, boomers, we're using Facebook, whereas the millennials are much more apt to use Instagram. But APT members can post to the account by tagging, and it's called tagging, and you have to use the ampersand sign, Philly Guides, in your images, and then, posts will actually appear on our Instagram feed. Likes on this page are the key to growth, and APT members are really encouraged, both on Facebook as well as Instagram, to share, like, and tag regularly. I have been using the tag Philly Guides also in all my posts, just so that, we get some consistency out there. And maybe we'll learn from Ronnie Frey and on November 6th that that's probably passé and no longer used, but it was the thing to do a couple years ago when I took a course. But only the APT admin can post to the account directly, but we can use, you can add to the fun by using the @PhillyGuides tag. Is there anything you want to add to that, Jen?
Short videos can also be posted, and this is a good opportunity that if you're doing a tour or there's a fun moment on tour, or if there's an interesting building or mural or something, because especially people think of the millennials as kids. Millennials are the parents now. Millennials are in their late 30s, 40s. So they're your new clients. So using Instagram, even though it's like a younger audience, is beneficial. And a lot of people, when they travel, it's like the old guidebook with the glossy images. So a good, beautiful photo of something in Philadelphia and say, oh, I happened to see this on my tour today, that might hook someone to encourage them to take your tour more than like 150 well-written sentences. So even though it's maybe, and it can be linked with Facebook, so don't feel like you have to do two separate posts.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jen.
Sorry, I don't know if I'm helpful.
No, that's good.
I'm like a different generation. So if I say anything, please be like, what do you mean?
All right. And so YouTube, we do have a YouTube channel, and YouTube is like a massive on-demand library of videos. I use YouTube all the time to plan travel. I find out things about Philadelphia through YouTube. Obviously, you need to fact check whatever you see on the internet, especially from random people. But it can be really helpful in a really fun way to either learn about a new place, and actually to learn anything, to learn any kind of skill. I'm pretty good at Excel, but every once in a while, you get rusty when you don't use it, like I used to in my old career every day. And if I'm like, I really want to learn how to do this or that in Excel, I will just YouTube it. And within 3 minutes, I have a video that I've watched, and now I'm actually applying what I've learned. So YouTube is great for education, and also just a great way to educate other people. if you get into that mode of using YouTube as part of your business. But for now, I would just highly recommend, if there's something you need to know how to do, whether it's fixing your dryer, learning something in Excel, or learning something about a new place, I guarantee you there's a YouTube video out there for you to learn from.
Yes.
And you do not need to log in to view our videos or to view any YouTube videos. So you can go to YouTube, search for something, and it will find whatever you want it to find. I'm kind of one of those people that, it's not like they don't know who I am and what I recently did, where I recently ate, whether I posted it or not. But it's like one more data point that I don't want people to have sometimes knowing about me. So a lot of times I don't log in when I view videos, and you've got plenty of videos to watch. So a very good untapped resource. We used to grow up, and if we had a question, our parents would say, look it up in the encyclopedia. Now it's just go look it up on YouTube. So now Blue Sky. I have to be completely honest. We have an account. Jen created the account, but I am not on Blue Sky. Some people say it feels like the good old days of Twitter before all the changes. I was not personally one that loved Twitter because I had enough inboxes and things beeping and dinging at me. I didn't need one more thing to ding and beep at me. So I never got into Twitter. And honestly, I'm not probably going to get into Blue Sky. But if Jen, you want to add anything else about that, we just wanted you to know that it's out there.
Blue Sky, saying it's like the old school version of Twitter/X is correct. It was actually made as a reaction to that. I didn't really connect with it because I was always more of a photo person, but people who are more literary, more writing, a quick one-liner, a quick statement, a quib, found this to be a better format of social media for them. So if you tended to be more of a word person, this is your place. This is where you're more comfortable. Instagram, maybe not so much. Maybe you're not a visual person. Blue Sky would be more that space. And you can link pictures and things, but it's really more text-based, kind of like, Twitter back in the day where you would shoot off, oh, random thought, maybe they should rename this building. And you would just kind of share that to the world. That's what Blue Sky is today. And even though I created it, I myself barely use it. So if you're willing to tackle that, I'm not that market. I'm not that demographic.
Yeah. Well, if we find somebody within the organization that is, a big fan of Blue Sky, we want to say have at it and help us out with this platform. And the same goes for Threads. Threads is another social media platform. It is from Meta. Meta owns Facebook. They own Instagram. They own WhatsApp. So Threads is another one, and it is also a more modern version of Twitter, and is supposed to be in direct competition with Twitter, as well as Blue Sky now. The biggest difference is that it is built directly on the foundation of Instagram. So it's a little bit like a chain. It's like I have my Facebook account, and because I have a Facebook account, I can also have my Instagram account. And then if you have the Instagram account, you can get the Threads account. It's all too much for me too. Again, I'm not the Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads camp either, just like Jen. The important thing here is that you also need an Instagram account. It's again a little bit, doesn't have all the chaos of what an X platform has now. And the conversations are often more personal, positive, and focused. We also have an account here. Again, it's at Philly Guides. But we need somebody with a passion for this type of platform to help us out and put more content on there. So Jen, I don't know if you have anything to add here too.
No, same as, the one thing is, I will add that it might seem like a lot because there's so many different platforms, and there are. It's because there's different flavors for each person. And unless your specialty becomes social media, most people don't focus on all of them. They focus on the ones that speak to them. The one thing you can do though, because Facebook, Instagram, and Threads are all by Meta, you can link them all. It takes a little bit of practice, but you can post something to Facebook, have a variation of it for Instagram, have a variation for Threads. So kind of 3 birds with 1 stone. So if you do wish to kind of dip into those, even though it's like 3 different ones, it's not 3 different contents. You would just have 1 content and you would tweak it a little bit for each.
No.
Yeah. So don't feel like you have to reinvent the wheel for each of the social medias.
Okay. And moving on. So here's what we would like you to do if you don't do anything else. Is to, if you have a Facebook account, please search for Philly Guides Association and click join or follow. It's the same thing. And do the same thing for Philly Guides Association group and click to join that one too. You know, if you want to join other platforms like Instagram, all the better, great. But what we really want to do right now is also really build up our presence, and that a bigger portion of our APT members, at the very least, just start following us on both the Facebook page as well as the Facebook group. It is a quicker way to get out information. If we do need to get out information to you, than waiting around for the weekly email from Marianne. It also provides us a quicker way to get you, you know, snippets of information, because we all know that those emails can be very long, and you know, you might miss something, and we might put something important in there that we really would like to get out to you faster in between the cycles, as well as that we highlight something important that was in those newsletters. So that's really what what we want. We want you to be an active member. Like our posts if you want to like them. You know, join the community, join the conversation, and it really is just another way to share knowledge among our association, because we're all in this together. Yes, sometimes we may seem like we're in competition with each other, but really, this association is really all about people, like-minded people coming together and sharing their knowledge, and this is just another way to do it. So that's the end of the presentation. So I wanted to save some time, or a lot of time, for questions. No question is a dumb question, only the question not asked. So if anyone has questions, we'll be more than happy to kind of answer them. And it's possibly a question that somebody else is thinking about as well right now. So you can raise your hand or put it in the chat. I'm going to stop the share. No one has. Oh, Martin, you go, please.
Hi, yeah, I'll use the old-fashioned way with my actual hand before I could find the button. Yeah, Antoinette, how do you see in your mind, you and Jen together, how do you see the relationship of, pardon me, we have a website, right, of
Mhm.
our, www dot, um, how do you see the relationship of the website and all the important things we have on there, like we just did for, the Navy, homecoming to Navy Marines, the homecoming 250, we had a relationship where we had our website linked to theirs and so on. And but so how do you see the relationship in your mind for APT between our website and the social media presence that you just detailed tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they go hand in hand. And so quite often I will put up posts that, I want to highlight something that's on our website so there's more information, right? Because in a Facebook post, you can only have so much information. But so, for example, if it's something about guide insurance, that'll be on sale soon again. I'm not going to put all the information about guide insurance on our Facebook page or our Instagram, but what I will do is I will link to, put a link in the post back to our website so you can get a lot of that information, in one click. Because sometimes our website can be a little hard to navigate. And this is just another way for us to communicate of how to get to the important page on the website very quickly about this topic or that topic.
It's also a casting a wider web. Um, think of our website kind of like a newspaper. Then you have social media, which is like TV or radio. It's spreading the news out. If you only had your website, you are static, not as many people are going to find you. But if you're on Facebook and you post something from your website, somebody might see it, they might share it to someone else. It's that game of whisper down the lane. It spreads it to more people. Oh, I want to go check out this website. You have to have a website, but you can't stop there. If you stop there, it's like you have a monolith and the world won't know you exist. Link sharing used to be the thing about 10 years ago, but things have changed. Things have moved fast. That's another reason why social media is so important, because it's more immediate, it's more fast, it's quicker. Because a lot of people now, that's kind of the way of things. And so if they're looking something up, a lot of the younger generation go to social media first. They have a question. They'll post to a forum first. They'll reach out. Hey, I saw your business. I have these questions. They don't go to the website first. They go to social media first, because that's more of a person to person, whereas a website is just seen as this static thing, a resource, whereas social media is more, I want to contact people.
Yeah, I want to second that too, Jen, because I was out one time and I was with this one person who was in her 40s, and they ran into somebody that they hadn't seen in a long time, and rather than saying, "Oh, give me your phone number," they said, "What's your Instagram?" So they just communicate through Instagram anymore. And part of the reason I was having trouble with Facebook is I use it so rarely anymore, and it's gotten so difficult to use. So
It's
I
it's
really
also
don't use it as much.
generational thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Facebook has changed because with the other social medias, there's also a generational kind of layering, is how I think of it. Like
yeah,
Facebook would be the, I guess, boomer generation. Instagram is
that would be
more
me.
like millennial. Gen X kind of bridges both. It's a little personal preference depending on who Gen X is. Then you'll get the Gen Z, which is like the Snapchat, the TikTok, and all those. That's a conversation we're not even getting into. Gen Alpha, I don't know, knowing them, they're probably gonna go all the way back to carving in like clay tablets because they're just kind of against everything. So there are generational divisions. And if you are away from it, it does get cumbersome to come back, but it is like riding a bike. If you sit and spend a little time, it does come back. I think, Mike, you had your hand up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Mike. I'm sorry.
Mike,
Yep.
sorry, he had the actual icon, so that bumped him up the line. Sorry.
um, for the Facebook page and the Instagram page, is there one person who's a contact for either questions or suggestions what to post, or is that something that it's the Philly Guides Association group?
Well, we're
Give me
actually,
more detail.
yeah, we would like to form like more of a committee that we want to be able to kind of share the load of these
Mm.
this postings because right now like it's me kind of posting and it kind of takes like 10 minutes like a day to like come up with a new post. And
Mm.
that's
And
if I
I'm
have like
sporadic.
content and I've got a picture and I'm looking through my phone reel and like everything, and or I'm using AI to try to generate something. So if I don't have a picture, like it takes me a while to kind of get some good content to post. So I would very much like help with that. The way I do it right now is that Facebook allows me to create one post and then post it to Instagram and Facebook. And I can schedule it, so I can schedule a bunch of them at a time. But I would love the help. And I've got like a Google sheet that I'm kind of keeping track of our posts. And so a lot of them will, you can recycle them for the next year. William Penn's birthday is always going to be on the same day, and it's always going to be on the same day as Marianne and Jim Murphy's birthday. So it's so some of them I can kind of reuse, like that's what I'm thinking of a year down the line, and also kind of keep track of what worked well, what didn't work. You'll see me starting to ask questions because I want people to engage in the social media, because that actually helps our rankings and get on more people's feeds. And by the way, the group has a much better presence in your feed than even just our page. The purpose of the page, though, is that we can advertise. And so perhaps over the next week or so, we may start advertising our training. We used to just kind of post it on Meetup or Eventbrite, but now we might be able to use Facebook to advertise and get some more non-members involved in training and perhaps joining our association. So that's kind of where we're also trying to go with this, is that we've actually gotten a lot of new members. A lot of new members are actually on this Zoom, which is great. But yeah, we want to keep being able to, refresh that pipeline and get more members involved and make this group and this association even stronger. And Facebook has a role to play in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also kind of to touch on your question a little bit more, there is like an admin team. So it's not like one person. It is at this moment more Antoinette. I will be honest. She's carrying definitely the weight of it. But there is like an admin team that regulates the page and then will right now filter any posts to the group. And groups, sometimes you don't have an admin filtering. They're just there, and the community itself will say, hey, I don't think this is appropriate. Admin, I'm reporting it. Whereas right now we have a filter and it's admin, and people can be added as admin. So if somebody does message us through the group or the page, the admin get a notification. And I do it broad because to my knowledge, I don't know if there is a limit of how many admin. So if anyone is interested, as Antoinette said, the more many hands light work, like it is helpful. And as I said, it is on her. I've had a lot of business stuff land in my lap that I have not pulled my share. So, but yeah, if that answers, I think Martin.
Yeah, but it also raises another question, in terms of sort of what is the limit or the scope of the Facebook page in terms, I mean, the our area, our sphere of interest is really broad in terms of
Mhm.
like anything to do with local
Philadelphia
history
history,
or
Philadelphia. Yeah,
any events could potentially be useful.
yeah.
But I can also think of some events that are just maybe a little too far afield. Is there,
And that would be a case of if you as a member of the group or the page are like not sure, you would send it to the admin and then the
okay,
admins would weigh in. Because
okay,
even if it is maybe outside of like local history sphere, if it's something we thought that would benefit or further the education and experience of the group, it might be decided to post it.
hmm. Do we have
So
any sort of policies as to what our criteria should be?
not really formalized. That is kind of it's more of like we would then fall back on the mission of APT.
Yeah,
Okay,
And if it
yeah,
fits the mission of APT, then that is allowed. If it doesn't fit the mission of APT, which is on our website, then it might be a case by case scenario. But like if you're talking about like really specific, I'm going to use just for an example, I have a pit bull. I'm on a lot of Facebook groups for pit bulls. He's also part Rottweiler. So if I wanted to post something like, hey, I know you're pit bull people, but maybe you'll like this Rottweiler thing, they'll probably nix it purely because it's not a pit bull. But another group, hey, it's a cute dog, we'll take it anyway. So it's really case by case. And so I think you're asking very broad questions that once we get to that scenario, we'll be able
okay,
to give you a better answer.
thank you.
yeah. I mean, right now, I'm using the our 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 mission statement as the guiding principle,
Yeah.
and then just in general, just like don't talk about religion and politics, and but keep to the mission of APT.
Mhm. I think Martin had his hand up for a while.
Oh, okay. There you go, Martin. You can just get yourself off of mute. I think you're still on mute, Martin.
You're muted.
Okay,
There
got
you
it
go.
that time. Thank you. Um, LinkedIn, I didn't hear any mention of LinkedIn here tonight. And I used to have a LinkedIn account and I have to reactivate something, but I had I had a lot of connections on LinkedIn and I haven't, where do you all, uh,
Uh,
Antoinette and Jen, where do they fit in the solar system here or not?
I'll field this one. I'll field this one. So LinkedIn, all things old become new again. So LinkedIn used to be the primary social media thing for professionalism, and then it kind of faded away and it's coming back. It is not directly connected to social media, and a weird way LinkedIn, when you say social media, tends to be seen as slightly off to the side. Like it is a social media, but it's like more professional. So it's kind of weird depending on who you talk to. It either doesn't follow social media or it does. We have a LinkedIn page, but like the original Facebook page, we have zero access to it. So we're in process of building a completely brand new one from scratch. So that is why it's not in the current discussion, because we don't have the new one. And we have no access to it, no access to update, share, or any capacity. I've been trying for the last 2 months to hack it. Yep, I dusted off my hacker skills and I got close, but then I got locked out. So I'm in LinkedIn jail right now. So I tried every password I could think of, knowing like who created it and try to hack it, but I got locked out. So it does exist. When we create a brand new one from scratch, we will share with everyone. So it's kind of a to be determined. It is kind of runs parallel to everything else we have discussed. It is a different kind of set of rules. It's more specific to work and professionalism. Also, because it has changed its perspective, because it used to be one way. I would like to kind of get back to this discussion of LinkedIn after the November 6th marketing meeting, because a lot of rules of social media marketing has changed. I myself, everything I was taught is now obsolete, and that's just in the last 3 years. So that's why we're being very broad, because we ourselves want to get the updates. So LinkedIn, just table it for now. But that's an excellent question. But
Yeah.
I got
'Cause
put
I-
in hacker jail.
Yeah, it is helpful because it seems that tour operators and tour directors like to use LinkedIn. And so
They
having,
didn't, but now they do again.
yeah, but if that's another great way for them to connect with local Philly guides, we need to get on that. And that's partly on us, but we're all here as volunteers, and sometimes our business takes priority. Do I see that's just Martin's
Martin's hand's
raised.
still up.
How do tour operators use LinkedIn? For recruiting or what?
As a tour, do you want to?
No, go ahead, Jen.
So I'm a tour operator, tour guide, tour director. I'm many hats. The way LinkedIn is right now is LinkedIn is kind of seen like sorry, I realize I have the reaction up. It's like you're putting your resume out there. LinkedIn is you're putting your resume, your professional experience up there, and tour operators can do one of a multiple things. They can do a search based off of keywords or training things, your geographical location, or if you're connected to people. Like for me, I've gotten about 90% of my jobs in the last, say, 10 years because of people I know. So they would find me through connections. They have an employee. Oh, I need a tour guide. Hey, I recommend this person. They would find me through LinkedIn, use that as kind of a quick scan of my professional skills, and then follow through with a call. So really think of it as your resume is constantly out in the world. You're constantly posting your expertise. So tour operators, they're searching for people. And so they will search based off of what's publicly available, or kind of like if you're linked to people, they'll use that as kind of a way of like a reference, or they'll post jobs. I've been seeing that a little bit more often, whereas a lot of tour operators are starting to post availability through LinkedIn. It's kind of
Hmm.
strange. It like started to die out right around the time of COVID, and now it's coming back strong.
Hmm.
All things old are new again. Anything else? I don't know if that answered your question or not.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Gives me
Yeah.
ideas. Thanks.
Yeah, so we need to, like, I need to update mine. I haven't touched it in ages. And the APT one, I tried to hack it. Yeah, but we'll just build it from scratch.
Yeah, as I left my last job, actually my LinkedIn page got hacked, and so I just deleted the account and I haven't gone back to it. So I made a new LinkedIn page, but I have no experience on it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna copy the old one and then add it and tweak it a little bit. So,
All right. Bonita has a question.
Yeah, this may be just a little bit I'm sorry. This may be a little bit off the subject, but as for myself, I have like an Airbnb experience. Would you suggest something like that for the tour guides to have an account with Airbnb experiences or
Hmm.
service?
so Airbnb Experiences is an OTA. So that's not a social media. So it is a little bit off topic,
Okay.
but it depends on how wide they want to cast their net. So Airbnb Experiences had tours, then they took them away, and I think they're coming back now.
Mhm.
So that is something to look into. Now, the one thing with OTAs, which is third party listing of your tours, like Airbnb Experience, Get Your Guide, Viator, TripAdvisor, they are like social media in the sense that they cast a wide net of people to find you. But that comes with a cut. So if you're going to post your tour to say one of their sites, there's going to be a service fee. So just be mindful of that. So sometimes what people will do is they will up their price if they're going to post to the OTA, the operating, I don't remember what OTA stands for, I'm blanking, but one of those third party sites, and have a different price on their website just because then there's no surcharge and things.
Okay.
So
That's a great question, Bonnie.
yeah, kind of not related, but still an excellent question. And so it just depends on how wide you want to cast your net, and just understand that they're great in getting people to notice you, because a lot of people like going to social media for a question, go to those resources first instead of doing a Google search, because they can see right there the reviews and everything, and that's a trusted source. Whereas Google is the whole world.
Might be a good question to ask Ronnie.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Um, I don't know how they link with social media, so that might be a question for him to see. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Martin.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, follow up on the Viator thing. Great question, and it's reminding me. I'm trying to lower my hand. It's reminding me that two sort of contacts that I personally had with Viator. Sort of one is that we were in England, my wife and I, and we scheduled a tour using Viator in London. And another thing is that I noticed that some of our affiliate tour guides in our well, I hope I'm going to say this accurately, but I think I was sort of looking at what other people do in our APT directory, and few people went over to, and I thought it's something like Viator where people who don't maybe want to spend money on creating a website have themselves listed on a sort of a canned tour website. And I thought if it's not Viator, it's something like that where it's just sort of has a format and you put your data in there, and then you're advertising yourself online. It wasn't a website. It was as much. I'm sorry, I should have looked it up before bringing it up. But I guess my question is it a good thing to get on Viator? Did I hear you correctly that you said there's a fee, there's a monthly fee or something, or how does that work?
Yeah, well, it's kind of getting away from the social media. So before I answer that, do we have any social media questions? Antoinette, are you cool with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, then we'll make this the last question because
Yeah.
it's getting close to 8 o'clock.
Yeah, and also we're kind of veering. So Viator itself, there are a lot of different sites and apps that are similar to that you can use them to screen and book a guide or experience. Viator, Get Your Guide, TripAdvisor, there's a lot of them out there. There is a booking fee. So when somebody books, they pay Viator, and then Viator cuts you the money. So, and they take their fee from that. So it's what you think is best for you. Some people don't like the idea of, oh, no one should ever take fees. How dare you? How dare you? Some people are like, hey, more people are going to find me. I'm okay with the fee. So it's really what your comfort is. Now, Viator, Get Your Guide, TripAdvisor, all of those, what's called OTAs, which are like third-party listings, they have their policies and rules that you have to follow. Having been a person who set up my tour company on those, they want the best of the best photos. They are very intense about photos. They want great write-up, and they are very, very attentive about reviews. And they don't like if you have to cancel bookings. So just understand that if you book with them, you can get a lot of attention, but you have to follow their policies. So make sure you know what their policies are, because if something happens and you have to cancel a whole bunch of tours, you can tank your listing, and that could be a detriment. So just understand they're great if you fully understand what you're signing yourself up to. If you don't like those rules and restrictions, maybe pause and think about it. It's really a case by case, person by person. I can't tell you yes or no because I don't know you and your tour style enough. For me, it worked. I really like Viator. I really like Get Your Guide, but I have colleagues that would rather never guide than go on them. So it's really a personal choice. Sorry for the non-answer. But it's really just make sure you know what you're signing up for, and like take some professional photos because they're really about their photos. I had to have like 4 photo shoots, and I don't think I'm photogenic, so it was awkward. Yeah,
Thank you. That was a great summary, a very excellent summary. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, tell me more about these photo shoots. I mean, what can you do other than, just be standing next to a group
And that's what it was. I literally had a photographer. We were doing a fake tour,
uh,
and he was telling us, no, move here more, do that. And it was like,
mm,
which was funny. We spent a lot of money on 2 of those photo shoots. And
mm,
then I had a friend of mine just follow a tour, and I
mm,
fed her and gave her a bunch of free beer.
mm,
And those photos were the one Viator liked better.
mm.
My friend, I told her, I'm just going to feed you next time I need a photo shoot because I forgot she was there.
When you first used Viator, did you have any photos at all?
I had some that were mine. And that's a key. Like with social media, you cannot use photos that are not yours.
Okay. I mean, could you take?
That's a legal copyright thing, and you can't use AI.
Mhm, right.
So it's
I mean,
a
could you do
process.
something as simple as, say, take a picture of Independence Hall, and that's your.
Yeah, you can do that as a placeholder, but they're going to constantly pester you. You need better
Mm,
photo. Where's a
mm.
better photo? Where's a better photo?
Wow.
Because they have a vested interest in selling your tours.
Okay.
And they know the algorithm of what will sell and what will catch people's attention.
Hmm.
So that's a good question for November 6th. Now, he may not
Okay.
get into it because OTA is not social media, but that might be a
Okay.
good question because social media, you need photos.
Yeah.
It takes a lot more work than people realize. Which you're talking to a person who has to rebuild a company and start a YouTube page. So yeah. I promise this is water.
All right. So if there's no other questions, I appreciate everybody's time. And I hope this kind of got to the social media 101, and hopefully this will interest you if this makes sense for you to actually join Ronnie Frey's tour discussion as well. He's really interesting. You know, he was not like a social media person, also not a tour guide by trade. And when he got laid off from his job during COVID, he made social media his full-time profession. As he put it, you know, he just made it his job. He showed up for work at 9 o'clock and just did social media. And he's very self-taught, and he gives a great presentation. I was able to see one of his presentations a year or so ago. It was very,
Even
very
I signed up.
interesting. Yeah.
Even I signed up.
Yeah, and his website is awesome. So go to the Doorways of Chicago website. It is an amazing website because when you compare it to some other people's websites, you're like, oh yeah, this is a professional website. This looks like somebody is serious and is going to show up for the tour that I sign up for. You know, again, and I don't normally give that kind of praise to anybody, but you know, he does a great job. And he's just a one-man show as well. So again, thank you so much. And you know, you have our email addresses if you want me to reach out to us. You can't get on to our Facebook pages. Please let us know. We'll help you get on. And we need the likes and the comments. So it doesn't look like I'm just one of those people out there shouting to myself in the middle of the courtyard at City Hall. So thank you, and
Very much.
wish everyone a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.